They fined me $500 for mowing my own grass. Yeah, you heard that right. My own yard. Apparently, I was trespassing on HOA land, even though I literally had the property survey in my hands proving otherwise. What started as a quiet Saturday morning turned into cops at my door, a furious HOA president, and me exposing her in front of everyone. So here's how I turned that $500 fine into her public humiliation. I live in a small suburban neighborhood. Nice houses, clean streets, and an HOA that's supposed to keep the community beautiful. But honestly, our HOA president, Karen, took authority way too seriously. She wasn't just enforcing rules, she was patrolling like a one-woman SWAT team with a clipboard. Grass length? She'd measure it. Mailbox paint chipped? Expect a warning. And God forbid you parked the wrong way overnight, instant fine. Still, I mostly kept my distance. My house sits at the very end of the road, near a small drainage ditch that separates my backyard from the HOA's common area. Just a patch of trees, really. It's been that way since I bought the house. My property goes right up to the edge of that ditch. Every few weeks, I mow up to that edge, just to keep things neat. I've done it for years. No one ever said a word. Until now. That weekend, I finished mowing, grabbed a cold drink, and sat on my porch. An hour later, I saw Karen walking down the sidewalk on one of her property inspections. She stopped near the ditch, looked at the grass I'd just mowed, tilted her head, and started taking photos. I waved politely. She didn't wave back. Just scribbled something in her little binder and left. I didn't think much of it until the next day when I checked my mail. Inside was an envelope from the HOA, and there it was, a $500 fine for unauthorized alteration of HOA common land and unlawful access. I thought it had to be a mistake. I reread the notice. They even attached photos Karen took as evidence. The same pictures taken from my side of the ditch. I immediately emailed the HOA with a polite message. Hi, Karen. I believe there's been a misunderstanding. My property line goes to the edge of the drainage ditch. I've attached a copy of my official property survey stamped by the county. Please review it. A few hours later, she replied, short and snappy. The board does not recognize this document. The fine stands. Excuse me? You don't recognize an official survey? That's like saying you don't recognize gravity. I sent one more email, even offering to meet and walk the property line together. Her reply? Stepping onto HOA common land again will result in additional fines and possible legal action. I let it go for a few days until things got way worse. That Friday around noon, I heard a knock at my door. I opened it and saw 2 police officers. One said, "Sir, we received a report from your HOA regarding property damage and illegal landscaping on association land." My jaw dropped. Karen had actually called the police over grass. I calmly handed the officer the same property survey. He looked it over and said, "Yeah, this looks official." Karen, who was standing across the street, arms crossed, shouted, "He's lying! That ditch belongs to the HOA. I have photos." The officer turned and asked, "Ma'am, do you have any legal proof of that?" She hesitated, flipping through her binder full of rules and photos, and said, "It's always been HOA property. Everyone knows that." That's when I pulled out my ace, my security camera footage. "Officer, I think you'll want to see this." We went inside and I played the video from a few days earlier. Karen walking onto my property, stepping right past the ditch, snapping photos from my side of the line. He paused the video and said, "Ma'am, this clearly shows you trespassing on his property." Karen went pale. She tried to backtrack. "I was only documenting evidence. That's my duty as president." But the officer wasn't buying it. He told her, "If you file another false report, you could be charged with misuse of law enforcement resources." She didn't say another word. She just turned and stormed off, binder clutched to her chest like a shield. Later that evening, I got an official email from the HOA board, not from Karen this time. It read, "On review of the documentation, the fine has been dismissed. We apologize for the misunderstanding." Oh, and guess what? 2 weeks later, Karen was removed as HOA president after multiple complaints from neighbors. Apparently, she'd pulled stunts like this before, threatening fines, sending warnings for things that weren't even violations, even yelling at kids for running too loud near the pool. When she got voted out, the entire neighborhood threw a barbecue. I didn't even need to gloat. Everyone already knew what happened. And every time I mow that same strip of grass, I make sure it's perfectly even. Not because of Karen, but because it reminds me that sometimes standing your ground, literally, is the best revenge. So yeah, next time your HOA tries to pull something shady, keep your paperwork, record everything, and never let anyone bully you off your own land. As for me, my lawns never look better, and I haven't seen Karen since. Rumor is, she moved to a neighborhood without an HOA. Guess she finally realized what it's like to live without power over someone else's grass. If you've ever dealt with an HOA nightmare, tell me in the comments, because trust me, these stories just keep getting crazier. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want more HOA revenge stories.